and welcome to TeamHypercube's Quick Play, the series where we run you quickly through the rules so you spend less time reading the rulebook and more time playing the game. Today we are playing Jetpack Unicorn by Weird Games and also by us? Jetpack Unicorn is a party game for 3 or more players that takes those old would-you-rather conversations that you and your friends have when you're bored and supercharges them into a crazy awesome whirlwind of on-the-spot storytelling. There are 3 kinds of cards you'll be playing with. Scenario cards, which give you the premise for the turn, TRANSMOG cards, which your friends will use to change the story on you, and round cards, which are just used to keep track of which round it is. All of the backs of the cards are in grayscale, but as you play with your friends, the table will gradually transform from a monochromatic wasteland to a glorious explosion of color, which is pretty darn cool. So the goal of Jetpack Unicorn is to amass the most points by the end of the game. You earn those points by convincing the judge to pick your side in the given scenario. A turn includes 3 players, the judge in the middle and the players on either side. If it's not your turn right now, don't worry, you're never more than a turn away from being back in the action. Gameplay begins with the judge drawing a scenario card. Scenario cards have 2 opposed scenarios that the judge will have to choose between at the end of the turn. Now, in order to make that selection, the judge will inevitably need more information. Yes, I have to choose between encounters with aliens or having an invisible best friend, but I need to know more about those aliens. What are they like? Are they friendly? This is where the other players come in. Each of the 2 scenarios on the scenario cards are assigned to the players on either side of the judge, as indicated by those arrows on the top. So if the arrow is pointing at you, that's the side that you want the judge to choose. The judge will ask questions about each scenario in turn. He asks the appropriate player, so what do these aliens and I do when we hang out? It's in that player's best interest to make that answer as awesome as possible, but he can't just make up anything he wants to. No, that would be too easy. Each player will have a hand of 3 TRANSMOG cards at all times during the game. The answer that that player gives to the question that the judge asks him must include the word or phrase on one of these 3 cards. And this is the game. It leads to all sorts of logical acrobatics as you try to figure out how to connect your answer to marshmallow fluff somehow and still make it awesome enough that the judge is going to choose your side. Now you can incorporate ideas from more than one TRANSMOG card and the judge can continue asking follow-up questions, but you may only ever play 1 TRANSMOG card per turn. Once both players have played a TRANSMOG card, the judge chooses the winning side. The winning player gets to keep the TRANSMOG card that they played on that turn, place it face down in front of them. That will count towards their points at the end of the game. The losing player discards their TRANSMOG card. Both players draw back up to 3 TRANSMOG cards, and the role of judge passes to the person on the left. The new judge draws a new scenario, and it's the next turn. Now I should note that it's not always the player's goal to make the scenario the best possible. Yeah, we've got cards that are which is cooler, but we've also got which is worse, or which is just weirder. In these situations, the players are actually trying to make their own side worse than the other person's, or just more bizarre, and the judge chooses accordingly. Once each player has gotten a chance to be the judge, that's 1 round. Flip that card over, and proceed on to the next round. Now a game of Jetpack Unicorn can be anything from 1 to 100 rounds, depending on how long you want to be playing, but you should settle on a number before you begin. Depending on the length of game you're looking for, 2 to 5 rounds is usually a good number for a party. If you're playing with more than 3 people, in between rounds is a good time to switch seats so that the same 2 people aren't always facing off against each other. Now at the end of the predetermined number of rounds, each player gets to pick up and count the points on those TRANSMOG cards that they earned throughout the game. Add up the point totals in the upper left corner of each card. The player with the highest total points is the winner. And that's all there is to it. The game is designed to get people thinking creatively and having fun conversations with their friends, so don't be afraid to get a little crazy. Like a lot of party games, the point of Jetpack Unicorn isn't who wins, but who can make the best stories and memories and have fun. Thanks for watching, and have fun out there. TeamHypercube out.